Welcome everybody to let's see, it's season 1, episode 6 of the weekly download with Nick Kalyani. How's it going, Nick?
I'm very good. How are you, Chris?
I'm good. I'm pretty excited about this weekend. I'm really busy this weekend, but I'm pretty darn excited about it.
I am too, and I wore my red shirt.
Oh, look at that. Very, that is very, I appreciate that, and it's very honorable of you to do that. For all my brothers and sisters out there, we appreciate you. Thank you.
I appreciate them so much.
So, Kryptonian, what are you up to, buddy? You're traveling, right? You can't.
I am traveling. Yeah, I've been moving. I closed on a house last week, so I've just been incrementally moving out of the old one. So that's been
house party.
My last few days. House party. Yeah. I got to unbox them. I got to put the cardboard boxes away first. But yeah, I've been pretty busy as well. But other than that, I'm always and will always be. It's better than I deserve. So I appreciate the question.
That's awesome. It's a bunch of just great news going around for everybody. I think the holidays are coming up, and everybody's just starting to really get a little bit festive. Especially this time of the year. I like the weather, the college football, and the NFL and everything, and Halloween, and then you got Thanksgiving, and you got the big one, Christmas.
Yeah.
So Nick, I mean, whenever you want to start, I know you got a presentation ready for us and everything like that.
Yeah. But before we go there, Chris, I wanted to take a moment kind of to talk a little bit about the YouTuber gang. So this is the last download that we'll do directly from your stream. From the next one onward, we'll do it directly from the Vitruveo stream. And that's really just, as a branding thing. But I want to spend a few minutes talking about what's happened here. So first of all, today is exactly 90 days since we first stepped onto the stage. So it's a big day for me, 90 days. But I want to talk about you, Kryptonian, Fowler, Oda, etc. We started off where I was just some guy, right? And I was here with a plan. And what I'm deeply grateful for is that all of you didn't judge me right away and gave me a chance. Just gave me that chance I was looking for to present my ideas and to work on sort of healing this community and bringing it back from I don't know how to describe it, but bringing it back. And I can tell you that, all the business stuff aside, I care a lot about humanity, and all of you demonstrated such great humanity to me and helped me on this journey. For that, I'm ever grateful to all of you. And we did this stream stuff. We've been talking about questions, etc. But at the end of the day, now what I feel we have forged is a lifelong friendship, and I am grateful for that. I'm really, really grateful for that. And couldn't have done it without you, Chris, Kryptonian, Fowler, all of you. I'm very deeply grateful. So just wanted to get that out of the way.
I mean, our situation, and I'll be quick, but I mean, our goal was, I think our goal was, and we had talked about it, was being out there, giving people the opportunity for you to put the information out, and for everybody from all communities to be able to ask questions, get information, and everything like that, and everybody be able to have a voice, because it was a very difficult time at the beginning. But I think we accomplished that, and I think it's a a great position now that Vitruveo, moving into them presenting this and everything like that. I said I will still be around. I'm not going anywhere or anything like that, and I'm sure Kryptonian and the other guys will be around too. But
and I'd love to have you guys on our streams occasionally. Yes. Yeah.
It's been great. It's been great, and we accomplished what I wanted our goal to be, and I appreciate you being candid. I'm and all the questions and everything that you've had. Some of them are very difficult and everything, but I appreciate you actually willing to take the questions and to work on it. So that is it's very much appreciated from my point of view.
Yeah. So on this 90-day kind of anniversary, I do want to talk a little bit about my personal feelings a little bit, and also kind of what we've achieved. As I mentioned, I started off as sort of just a guy, right? You from a position of high distrust. I hope that for at least the folks that have an open mind, that I've convinced you that it's not all talk. Basically, make a commitment, I follow through on it, or tell you that I can't and why, and then what can I do to address that. That's basically how I operate. And along the way, I know there's a lot of people who will never ever be okay with me, and that's fine. But I'm okay with them because as I said, like we can always disagree, we can always criticize, etc. Only issues I have with when that becomes disagreeable, right? So no problem with that. This is a community, we all go together. And I just want to talk about, when I started this, I jumped into this fray, and honestly didn't have a very good idea of what I was getting into, because from a technical standpoint and from a startup standpoint, okay, I got that. I've done that enough times. I know that. But it's really getting into a community that was very highly polarized, and very polarized on one end, and bringing us back to sort of a consensus model. And then in the process there, sort of developing this vision, developing the strategic plan, revising the cap table, revising the tokenomics, starting a DAO, incorporating a business, getting a product architecture done, putting a team together, collaborating with the validators and coming up with a reward solution, collaborating with the backers and coming up with a solution that works for them. And it's been a lot of work. I won't kid you. My wife and kids have missed me a lot. And I hope that someday, very soon, I can go back to like a normal life. But for right now, I'm still committed to working as much as needed in order to make this very, very, very successful. So we are on a cusp of something very big. And today's download, I plan on sharing some hard dates with you that we can say that we are finally activating here. So I'm excited about today, and I also have some surprise new information to share, which I think you'll like. So
people love that information. Just a real quick, I want to do a shout out to Prelvis. I have not seen you in a while. I see you in the chat. It's great to see you, buddy. Are you ready to present your presentation?
I am ready. Yes.
All right. So we'll just go backstage, and we'll be here when you need us.
All right. Thank you, Chris. All right. Welcome, everyone, to Season 1, Episode 6 of the Vitruveo Download. It's October 20th, 2023. I'm Nick Kalyani, the project lead. And we do this every week to give everyone a complete review of what happened in the prior week and what's coming in the future weeks. So let's get started. So today's agenda is not as packed as some of the prior ones, but it has lots of meaningful information. So we've got the council updates, we've got a financial update, we talk about the incorporation in BVI, phase 1 readiness, and then the right column, that's where all the action is. I want to talk about mainnet RC1 and what all the activities are around that. Want to talk about our booster sale, which is imminent, and some incentives, and then of course handle your Q&A. So let's get going with council updates. So let's start with marketing today. So the booster site is in the making. It is almost ready. I've looked at it. It's looking pretty good. We'll be getting it out here very soon. We've started a new sort of a marketing campaign where we are talking to artists out there, introducing them a little bit to Vitruveo and having them record sort of a spotlight, if you will, and posting them to Instagram. So I wanted to show you the first one here. I'm not sure if the audio is going to carry through, but let's try that.
I joined the Web3 community.
Yeah, let me just let me refresh that. Here we go.
Sasha, and I'm a photographer, and recently became an NFT artist. I joined the Web3 community because I really wanted to create something valuable, something I can be proud of, something that has my thoughts and my soul there. So my Web3 journey just starting, but I already feel it's going to be a great adventure because I already got even more than I expected. And I'm talking about people in community here, which is super supportive and super great and friendly.
All right, so we're going to do lots of those and continually get more and more artists involved. So the idea is that with these videos, we'll get more people talking about Vitruveo. Next thing is the production started on our engagement contest and booster countdown. So that's coming up. We also have a few Medium articles published. If you would, please go and subscribe to our Medium and just read those articles because it's got a good bit of information about some of the things that I communicate here also. And last but not the least, there is a European blockchain convention coming up, 25th to the 26th. And one of our marketing associates was already planning on being there. So that's great because what we are going to do now is do live updates from there on our Instagram, which is at Vitruveo Chain. So please do follow us on Instagram, and on the 25th and 26th, tune in to see some live updates from the European blockchain convention. All right, next up, the Creator Council. So the FUR is working on her 12-month budget, and so are all the others, but this one in particular is going to be a little complicated because it has a lot of moving parts. And we are getting ready for the booster sale, and so what we've done is wanted to present the booster art in a unique way. So there's a nice gallery that's been created. So let's go ahead and launch that and look at it. So it's a metaverse gallery, and here let's go in here. I like to fly through here, but there's slides in here that explain what the different creator challenges are, etc. And then when you go in here, you will see all the artwork. So there's a nice little gallery that's been set up with all the artworks there. So every one of these artworks is going to be on the boosters. And right now they are not AR enabled, but eventually they will be. So hope you can get a chance to explore this gallery. The link is in the deck. And at the end of my presentation, I will share with you the link for that for this deck. All right, so we've continued our Learn with Vitruveo campaign that happens every week, and so that's getting more and more traction. Gradually, we are talking to people about basic concepts, etc., and helping them really understand things about Web3. And I think we are building up quite a bit of demand at this point for artists to join Vitruveo. So as we come out with the program for them, I think we'll have quite a few signups. All right. Next up, ecosystem. So they're working on drafting a formal OPSEC policy because as we get more and more, let's say, mature or more advanced in sort of our journey here, we will want to make sure that we are secure and also keep our community secure. So that's important. We are working on Discord community bot that's being finalized, and also started initiating more partnership conversations because we want to fill up that board of partners by the time we eventually get to mainnet without the release candidate moniker on it. So that's happening right now, and that's Zach and his team. On the operations team, we presented the project Nanum to you. So we are moving that forward. So we are kind of fleshing that out a little bit and figuring out how exactly the artifact project will come to life. We're also starting to map potential alliances across 4 continents, and you'll hear about that in the near future as things get a little more thought through and more organized. And finally, because it's very important that we have all the council budgets well squared out, Alex has created a nice template that is a standard that we'll be adhering to. All right. Next up is our financial update. So the expenses were pretty much all the same, not major changes here. We have the standard salaries and the contract services, etc. The total was 82,142, but as planned, we essentially ran the balance down, and so we weren't able to pay everything. But we'll have a small deficit here, but we will catch up once we have the booster sale. So essentially, our goal was to take the funds that were remaining and get us to a mainnet, and we've achieved that, as you're about to see. So everything is going according to plan, even financially, from the technical standpoint. Everything is basically hitting all the milestones as we planned them. Next up, BVI incorporation. So what was it? Just last week or so, I presented to you the information about how we are sort of doing the BVI incorporation, because the Dubai one would take too long and we couldn't delay the booster sale for that. So we are still going to do the Dubai incorporation, but for the booster sale, we have a BVI incorporation we pursued. And I'm very, very pleased to report that as of right now, Vitru BVI Private Limited is a incorporated entity in the British Virgin Islands, therefore clearing the way for us to do our booster sale. So this happened just 3 days ago, on the 17th. So now we are clear, and we can do that. So that's done. All right. Now moving on, let's talk about phase 1 readiness. So I've been presenting this slide to you throughout, and each time we have more new green checks, etc. And as you can see now, we are almost there. We've got like a wall of green checks, and whatever is not done is nearly done. So it's just a matter of days when this will be 100% green. And actually today we'll go dive into this a little deeper, and you'll see specific dates. So let's go. So what I've labeled this as mainnet RC1 activities. I'm going to spend a bit of time on this slide here that's coming up, because it's really important, and I want to make sure everyone really understands what's going on. So let's go right into it. So coming up is the week of October 22nd. We will stand up mainnet RC1. I cannot give you a precise day during the week when that will happen, because there's just the DevOps team needs to do its thing, and they want to also make sure that they don't prematurely say it's ready when, like, maybe after 12 hours some problem occurs or something like that. So they want to take their time. But it is during this week that we are essentially going to have our mainnet RC1 activated. So that's 2 validators running in our sort of data environment. All right. That done, we will now then start our booster sale. So part of this is also deploying the booster app, the booster contract, and all of that. So on October 30th at 9 a.m., that's when we will turn on the booster sales. So that's when you can just hit the site and buy your boosters, right? So that's the first major milestone. Now, the next major milestone is on November 15th. So that's when we will activate the Poet application, the Poet DApp on the mainnet, so that we can start handing out NFT to the various, not only our community, but other communities also, and start making use of the blockchain the way it was intended. In that 2-week period, we are also going to load up all the data that you've seen in the spreadsheet so far. So all the holders data and all the validators data. And also we are going to commit to 100% resolving all the BTC issues that are pending. So in this 2-week period, all that data is going to be loaded up into a smart contract. That smart contract becomes the basis of our token allocations. So we'll talk about that in a moment. So November 15th, you've got all your data on chain. If you have the wherewithal to query the contract, from the Explorer, etc., you can see it. But that doesn't apply to like 99% of people, right? You need a UI to do that. And that's exactly what we are going to give you on November 15th. We're going to give you a web app where you can view your token allocation. You can view the rebasing that would be occurring on it. But most importantly, I have been getting numerous requests almost every time there's any kind of conversation. How do I merge my wallets, etc.? That's the feature you will be able to do right there. You will be able to go to all the wallets that you have the private key for, and you'll be able to consolidate them into one if you wish. You don't have to do that, but you could do that if you wanted to. So you have 2-week period to get that done. And once that's done, that's final, because you're going to get a Nexus NFT with that wallet and that information. So you need to think through your strategy, view things, etc., and do whatever you want to. We are flexible in that. We want to give you the maximum flexibility on that. All right. Now let's go on to what happens next. So on December 1 at 9 a.m., that's when we do the Nexus, validator, and steward token, meaning NFT, airdrop. So based upon the data that's already on chain and that you have reviewed and that you have merged, you're going to get your Nexus token. So on this day, we will also put out the first beta release of the DAO token dashboard. So on this dashboard, you can view, you can claim, you can transfer tokens, etc., but you can also apply your boosters to your Nexus tokens. So that is when you can actually stack your boosters, all of that kind of stuff. The actual ability to do that will happen on December 1. So first and foremost, to review again, next week, mainnet gets online. We start the booster sale. Meanwhile, you're going to see your data in a contract on our mainnet. You will have a web page where you can go and modify that, and you can see the transactions, etc., occurring. And we will launch Poet. We'll start issuing NFTs to different artist communities, even to our community here. We will issue Poet tokens, and those tokens will eventually be used for token gating once we've got the Discord integration done on that. Then on December 1st at 9 a.m., that's when you get your NFT. And that NFT is sort of the key to everything for you, because it's where you have your token vesting. You can look at that. You can claim your tokens that are vested. You can look at your rebasing. Now, for your tokens that are already in your wallet, the rebasing is automatic. You don't need the Nexus NFT or anything for that. That's just there. It's automatic. But this is for your unvested tokens. You can see that stuff. The other important thing is these tokens, the Nexus, validator, and steward tokens. The steward token is an exception, but the Nexus and validator tokens, with some limitations, are transferable. So if you want to transfer your asset and your rights to someone else, you'll be able to do that. And we will, not within this time frame, but shortly, we will have the Vitruveo store, as we are calling it, where you can actually sell these and have someone else buy it if you want to. So that is coming up. So this is our future here. It is very, very busy. It is very, very action-packed, and there's a lot going on. These represent actually a whole lot of marketing activities and a whole lot of technical activities and a whole lot of community activities that go along with this. But that's the schedule out there. So as of December 1, you're going to have your tokens freely to be able to move them between wallets as they are vested and or claim your perks and things like that. All right, moving right along here. Let's see here. Why is my thing frozen a little bit? Let me make sure I can get this done. Here we go. There we go. All right. Our next topic is booster sales. So what I always do on these downloads is kind of review the information for any newcomers. So I'll just do that again and then add any new information. So the booster sale, and now as we know it, it starts on October 30th, will be available on mainnet RC1. This was always a steadfast commitment I made to you that we will not do the booster sale unless we have a mainnet. We're not going to do it on someone else's blockchain. We will do it on our blockchain. There's two types. There's a booster with a token price of $1.50, and it is used to accelerate your token vesting. And then there's a super booster, which has a token price that ranges from $1.45 to $1, and it's primarily there for investors who want to acquire tokens in bulk. Each booster is also an NFT, and it has two states. There's the unboosted state, and then there's the boosted state. So before you boost it, it's there. It has your the tokens that come with it. It has the acceleration that comes with it. It has your rev share, etc. So you boost it, you apply it to a nexus, and now it becomes this amazing augmented reality booster and artwork NFT that is available to you. And it's going to be a rare thing because ultimately it's never going to be created again, right? So it's going to become a rare thing. All right. So I've been asked to confirm, and so I am confirming today that the maximum is going to be 20,000 boosters. So that's our cap, a ceiling on the number of boosters, not super boosters, boosters. Boosters will get a 30% of the asset registry licensing pro rata revenue. The cost is $150 per booster, and you get 100 tokens claimable as a result. Each booster boosts your vesting period by 0.1. You can stack up to 25 of these boosters to accelerate your vesting to 2.5%. After 25, the boosters are still good for the tokens and the artwork claim and any rev share. And you can certainly buy and hold these for the future and make them available to other folks. So that is certainly an option for you to consider. Next up is super boosters. So super boosters are for essentially professional investors, I would say, but not necessarily. It could be angel investors also. But the price ranges from $1.45 to $1, and the price range is from 25,000 to 250,000. And you'll be able to boost your vesting as much as 4.9%. You will also, super boosters are not stackable. So you cannot apply them with any other booster. It has to be by itself. And super boosters will also get an allocation of the 1 million DEX Vitruveo tokens that will come up once we launch the DEX. All right. So here, what I wanted to do was take a minute to really help you understand how boosters and super boosters work. So let's look at these scenarios. So you have a booster and you have a super booster. And the purpose is you can boost any Nexus NFT. So that's the NFT you know about. And today I'm introducing a new term here, a Maxim NFT. Why did we have to introduce that? Well, it's possible that you buy a booster, you just entered the community, and you don't have a Nexus NFT. You're not an original holder. And so what do you do with your booster? Well, you need to boost and have an NFT that it can be applied to. So that's what we are calling the Maxim NFT. So when you try and apply a booster and to boost something, and we detect that there is not a Nexus NFT in your account, we will auto airdrop a Maxim NFT. Just think of a Maxim NFT as exactly like a Nexus NFT, except all the values are 0. So it has nothing, but it has all the functionality. So you can claim things like that. You can look at it, the tokens, etc. And so this way, a booster or super booster can essentially boost a Maxim NFT, and now that becomes the way that is tradable, is usable, etc. So just remember that once you boost, all the vested and perks coin claims, the rev share income, even the DAO governance that belongs sort of to that Nexus or Maxim NFT, if you transfer that, all those rights go along with it. So your rights are not tied to your account. Your rights are tied to the NFT. Now, I just want to be very clear about this. Any vested coins or tokens that you have in your account, those are completely free and clear and unrelated to the Nexus NFT. So the Nexus NFT represents essentially your rights and claims to future tokens. So whether it's vested or perks or rev share, etc. So it's all about the future. And in terms of current, it would be your governance rights. So how many voting units you have to be able to vote for DAO related things. So hopefully that's clear to everyone how the booster and the super booster will work. All right. Now I'm going to take a moment to review the incentives that are there. So we have talked previously about the Diverge Vitruveo Genesis sneaker. So that's free for super boosters for every 25K spend, and it's free for the first 250 boosters that are purchased. So a limit of 3 per wallet. And this is a rare Genesis sneaker. It's going to have a great artwork, unique, and you can buy them also if you're not one of the first 250 or don't have a super booster. You can buy them for $120 each. So you have to have a booster in order to be able to buy one of these. Next, we have our referral link, which we will also publish. So essentially, if you bring any new buyers to the ecosystem who buy a booster, both of you get 5% token bonus. This will not work for existing wallet holders, and we'll give you a way to create a unique link that you'll be able to use. Next is our bonus token goal. So as we hit certain milestones, there are thresholds where everyone gets bonus tokens. So at the $2 million range, we have 5% bonus tokens. 3 million, we have 10%. 4 million, we have 15%, and 5 million, we have 20% bonus tokens. So this is all about us getting together and achieving a goal. And if we do that together, then we all benefit. And now what I want to do is introduce a brand new benefit. So each of these downloads, I've introduced one new benefit. And this is sort of the last download before we venture into the actual booster sale. So this is the last perk. This is the last amazing sort of perk we'd like to offer. And here we go. Let's talk about how it works. So currently, the revenue sharing is set up where the DAO, validators, and boosters split revenue. The DAO gets 35%, validators get 35%, and boosters get 30%. So let's imagine that a $1,000 asset was licensed from the asset registry. So the DAO's fee on that will be 2%. So the DAO gets $20. So the actual fee distribution then is $7 to the DAO, $7 to validators, and the boosters get $6. What I'm very pleased to introduce here today is another component to our revenue sharing, which we call early birds revenue sharing. So what we've done there is we've taken 5% off the DAO, bringing the DAO's share down to 30%, and we've introduced a new pool called early birds. So now the new makeup will be for a $1,000 asset that's purchased, the DAO gets $6 and early birds get $1. The validators and boosters pool remain completely unmodified. They are exactly the same. The DAO is reduced because that goes to the early birds. Now let's talk about what the early birds are about. The first 1,000 booster transactions of 7 or more boosters in one transaction get an additional 5% of that pro rata revenue share. So that early bird pool is basically going to be shared among 1,000 people or less, depending on what's going on there. So this, as opposed to the overall booster pool, which could be shared by a larger number of people. So this is an exclusive and important benefit. I hear time and time again that one of the most important things for folks is sort of recurring passive income, right? So this is perpetual. For the lifetime of this blockchain, you are going to be able to get 5% of our revenue share. So let's look at an example. So let's say Jack buys 7 boosters, and that's the first transaction. So that's considered an early bird transaction. It's early bird transaction number 1 because it's 7 boosters. It's the minimum. Next, John buys 3 boosters. So that's transaction number 2. John will not be able to avail of the early bird special. Next, Jane buys 12 boosters. So that's transaction number 3. The threshold is met. And so Jane is early bird transaction number 2. So let's look at, if it's just these 2 folks, what does the rev share look like? Well, Jack's portion of the early bird 5% revenue will be 36.8% forever. How? Well, it's 7, which is the number of boosters Jack purchased, divided by the total number of boosters in the early bird pool, which is 7 plus 12, 19. So that gives you 36.8%. And the same way, you compute Jane's rev share of that 5%, which is 63.2. So this is a great benefit, and I hope more people will aware of it. You will have to be fast because it's the first 1,000 ones of 7 or more boosters that get this. And I think this is a really great long-term revenue rev share potential. So just to give you some context, some of the marketplaces on Ethereum, like OpenSea, Foundation, Blur, etc., they are by their 5th year, they are doing in excess of 1.5, 1.8 billion dollars annually in sales. So essentially, what if we hit anywhere closer to those numbers, or hopefully more, because we're going to tackle other domains also, right? The number of the amount of rev share is going to be fairly significant at 2%. So that's that. Now, before I go on to the next topic, which is Q&A, what I wanted to do was give you a quick look at the investor deck that is nearly done. There's about 5 slides, maybe 6 slides more to go. It'll be done today. But I wanted to just walk you through it real quick to show you what we are doing there. So give me a moment here. Let me switch. There we go. So it's a very straightforward pitch deck. It is targeted towards crypto investors. So it follows a formula that is tried and true. So our vision is to build a decentralized ecosystem to unlock sustainable income for creators based on trust, technology, and community. So what we are doing is we are solving 4 main problems. The fact that a majority of creators can't make a sustainable living through their art. Existing NFT marketplace require artists to have marketing and sales skills, which they don't have and they don't even want to have. Current NFT standards are generic, and art scams and forgeries are common as a result of that. And finally, Web3 UI has a lot of friction, making it very challenging to onboard artists and collectors. So what's our solution? So Vitruveo is essentially a vertically integrated ecosystem for creators. It's a full stack, decentralized solution for creators in visual arts, music, film, and other domains also. So I like to think of our stack as 2 parts, protocols and elements. So in the protocols, we've got the blockchain, we've got a bunch of smart contracts that go with it, some dapps, and a marketplace. In the elements, we have lots of tools and resources for creators. We have workshops, we have a community, and we provide assistance with marketing. So this makes a vertically integrated ecosystem, not unlike others you've seen, such as Apple, etc., that start at the chips and work their way all up to an app store, including in the middle there, the product, the operating system, etc. And that's what we are doing. And there is no other blockchain that is doing this in a vertical way. And let's look at that in a moment. So how are we going to achieve this? Well, it's all about trust. Our solution works seamlessly to deliver the missing element of Web3 art, which is trust. We've got flexible licensing, we've got dynamic minting, we've got industry metadata, we've got creator trust through KYC, and we've got digital signing. And all of these together add up to trust and make it where in an environment which is supposed to be trustless, we still have trust that's delivered. So let's look at how our protocol works. So we've got the blockchain. And we have three primary pillars that make up this blockchain. We've got the creator pillar, and one of the things we want to do is get the identity of every creator, and we are doing that using what we call zero knowledge KYC. In other words, while the creator is identified, the external KYC provider maintains and retains the knowledge of that. It's never surfaced. So if someone wants to remain undoxed as a creator, they can. So they can still use Vitruveo, but keep their information private. The next pillar is rewards. We have built-in rebasing, which is essentially performance-based built-in coin compound interest. So everyone's wallet automatically compounds and gathers interest, provided the ecosystem meets its performance goals. And the third and the most important pillar is our asset registry. So our asset registry has three main highlights: the metadata, which conforms to industry standards like linked art for visual arts; licensing, we use the Creative Commons standard for that; and then signing, which we use the C2PA standard for that, which is an industry alliance of large companies like Microsoft, Adobe, etc. The apps that we have on here are also three pillars. We have the Vitru Studio, which is what anyone can use in order to consign their work to the artwork to the blockchain and to create the licensing terms that they want. Next up, we have Vitru Store. This was previously called Vitru Hub. We renamed it to Vitru Store. This is where anyone can create a store to sell artworks consigned to Vitruveo. So there's a pool of artworks that are consigned by creators. Anyone can throw up a store, just like you can with Shopify or Amazon. So it's the Shopify for creators. You can make a profit of someone else's work by selling it, and it's your margin, right? You sell it, and so you got a margin. They sold the work, and so they get the amount due for their labor. Lastly, we have Vitru Stream. So this is essentially a set of tools and applications and APIs that allow anyone to stream licensed visual artworks to any streaming device like Apple TV. And I'm in fact streaming to my Apple TV right now in the back, as you see. So we want to create the Spotify for creators. So let's look at the market size of what we are tackling here. So the overall art market is about $68 billion. And so far, only about 11 billion of that is captured online. So that means 84% of this market is not yet on Web3. That's our opportunity, folks. That's where Vitruveo is going to shine. And that's not it. There's more. Music and film, which are not even in here, are over $1 billion, $100 billion rather, market. So this is a very, very large market, and it's growing at a compounded annual growth rate of approximately 6%. So there is a lot of opportunity here, and we intend to capitalize on it. So let's look at what the competition is about, right? So we've got a whole bunch of horizontal general purpose blockchains. So you've got Ethereum, Tezos, Solana, Flow, Binance, Smart Chain, and Polygon. The thing is, all of these use a general purpose NFT technology model, and they have no creator specific support. We are focused on creators from the bottom up, and this sets us apart and gives us a unique competitive advantage when onboarding creators to Web3. So if you're a creator, you can go to a blockchain where you're just an app there, you're represented in there, or you can go to a community, an ecosystem where you are the star. The spotlight is on you, and that's what Vitruveo is about. What's our revenue model? So the revenue model is driven by the asset registry and the licensing model we've created. So the basic model is that any buyer on the protocol, and it can be from any application, any marketplace. If you go look on Ethereum, there might be, 100 marketplaces there. But on Vitruveo, it's possible for us to have 10,000 marketplaces, because they can be niche ones, and then they can be generic ones that are to everybody. The cool thing is that artists don't even need to do anything with these marketplaces. The marketplaces can decide which assets they want to sell. On Ethereum right now, a creator has to decide where they want to go and mint their artwork, etc. These are terrible decisions that artists have to make. We are taking that away. We are throwing away all that and putting a nice, efficient, and innovative model in place where essentially whoever wants to create a DApp for selling art can put it up there, mark up the art, sell it, and make a profit. And so all the purchases go through our asset registry to the license, which then mints an asset and transfer the 2% fee into the Treasury smart contract. And that's where it's split up into the four rev share slots that we talked about today, which is the DAO, the validators, the boosters, and newly announced today, the early birds. So that's where that Treasury smart contract does its thing. What's our go-to-market? Well, our order of go-to-market is visual arts, music, film, and then all other. That's kind of how we are tackling it. So we are starting with visual arts. So for visual arts, the creators are our first sort of focus. So what we want to do is onboard creators. So we look at current Web3 creators, and what we want to do is work with Web3 art communities to onboard existing artists by giving them token incentives and giveaways. So it's very simple there. With existing art organizations that are domain specifics like galleries, museums, music labels, when we get to that, etc., what we want to do is batch onboard the artists. So if the gallery has 50 artists, we will do a workshop for those 50 artists, and we will together as a cohort bring them on, and we'll give the gallery some token incentives, and we will give the artists some token incentives, thus bringing them on and bringing all their revenue potential to our protocol. The third is social impact organizations. So this is where we partner with social impact organizations to onboard indigenous artists communities, cultural artifacts, underprivileged artists from around the world. There's a lot of NGOs, etc., working on these, and there are hundreds of thousands of artists that match this criteria, and we'd like to sort of bring them on. My next slide is kind of unfinished, but I'm going to talk through it anyway. So the go-to-market for collectors, how are you going to approach that? Well, we'll start with art influencers, like publications, organizations, communities, blogs, vlogs, YouTube streams, etc. So what we want to do is reach out to them, and through them get to the collectors. Every gallery has a contact list of collectors. So as we onboard their artists, we also want to onboard those collectors and introduce them to Vitruveo. We want to have virtual and in real life exhibitions in order to make it very, very exciting to constantly see some of the great artwork that's there, and help people understand how to actually acquire this artwork for whatever situation they may have, for the home, for business, for a hotel lobby, etc. We will also work on retail partnerships like Diverse Sneakers that you saw the other day. Those are important because that gives us the ability to scale up at a very large level, thousands and thousands of artwork sales with maybe one vendor. And finally, number 5, something that's near and dear to my heart, is we want to create Vitru hubs. So we want to have physical locations around the world in key cities where we have it's essentially like a community hub where someone can come in and they can see a perpetual sort of gallery of artworks of exhibition that's there. They can come and ask questions. They can learn about Web3 and NFTs, and they can buy artworks, and they can attend a workshop, and just go through that process. So this is an important thing for collectors. Going on, what traction do we have? So we've got a great community. We've got 18K coin holders. We've got 6,000 plus people in our Discord. We have 500 validators, 4,000 plus artists ready to step in. We've got our protocol mainnet RC1, which has rebasing, auto perks, and the asset base. We've got some partners already lined up with Nanum, Diverse Sneakers, and Western Michigan. We've got our user dapps, Poet, Art Packs, Dapp Starter, and we've got gallery partnerships. We just did one in Sao Paulo. We did one previously in Dubai, and this traction will continue to grow on a almost weekly basis. Now that we have an ecosystem lead in place, it's going to go even faster. We also have a DAO, a nascent DAO as we call it. It has a governance charter and is organized into 5 councils with a 9-member Senate. The voting is based on vote credits issued to members at Genesis. So this is a newly formed DAO, and as we get to the point where we drop our steward and Nexus and validator tokens into people's wallets, we will start having our first DAO votes, the ability to propose and things, changes, etc., and make that happen. So that's coming right up. And this is the point where I've to finish working on it on the deck. It'll be done, like I said, later today. But we get into the team, etc. All right, so that's a little segue there into our investor pitch deck. But let me get right back into our download here. So now we are at the last segment, which is the Q&A. So I'll request Chris and anyone else who's here to come on back up here, and we can continue our conversation.
Wow, Nick, that was really good. The part where you have it broke out into visually, like the dates and the timelines, more like a business, like a schedule that in project management that we use. That's great stuff, because that, to me, I see that. Yeah, this is like milestones, things that I see going forward, critical path schedules and things like that. So I really like that part. I like the dates being on there, but I do have a question. Are you locked into these dates? Are these dates that people are like, take it to the bank?
That's our goal, barring some unfortunate circumstance, this is it. We are going forward with this.
Yeah. Now, what we, and I've never seen on something like this, but we use a lot of times we use probability factors on different things. But that's a bunch of people popping in now. They're all having internet issues. They're coming in and out.
Yeah. First of all,
Hello,
great
everyone.
presentation, Nick. Great presentation. It was good stuff. Good. You had some alpha news here today. I appreciate that. Listening, getting excited about it.
Yeah. But this is it, right? We've done everything we're supposed to, and now it's time to activate. So
Yep.
this is exciting for me, because it's all finally coming together.
It is.
Go time.
Yeah.
Go time.
Go time.
I like that.
Awesome.
Go time.
Go time.
Yeah.
Do you have you got questions?
Yeah, there were some questions from the community here, so let me get through those. And then, all right, will adult content be allowed on the blockchain? So look, the blockchain is a decentralized thing. In the asset registry, we will allow adult content. In terms of the Vitru store, etc., that's a different story, because we feel like anyone can come and spin up their own store and leverage the asset registry. So the answer is partially yes. We will have it in, if needed, in the asset registry. But in terms of surfacing it, that's up to whoever wants to surface a website. Because remember, it's open. Like anyone can create a Shopify-like website and say, I want to consume these things from the blockchain registry, the asset registry. The asset registry is just a database, right? It's just sitting there. So and it costs money to register this, a little bit of money to register it, a nominal amount. So we don't want it to be overflowing with garbage. So it costs money for that. So yes. All right. Next question. Some of the documentation that artists do over the years of their works aren't always in high res because of email constraints. In this Web3 era of NFT minting, will Vitruveo have a feature of enhancing the pixel count of works of art during minting? All right. So what we are talking about here is essentially a service that upscales images. Typically, that's being done these days with AI. So I do foresee that with Vitru Studio, we will over time add lots of features, but initially we won't be able to do that. But I think this is well within the scope of Vitru Studio to be able to add a checkbox that says upscale with AI, and we'll be able to do that. So yeah, are we still on target to launch RC1 in October? Yes, we are, very much so. Will Vitruveo be offering any kind of service where someone's art can be boosted to have more visibility for a fee or commission on sale or something? Yeah, this is a very interesting question. Like, look, because we are sort of handing off, if you will, the responsibility of displaying the art and selling it to apps, I think it's well within a reason for someone to create a store and say that, look, we've got, I don't know, 10,000 eyeballs on here from collectors. And if you want to be on here, then you have to pay a fee or something like that. That's between the app and the creator. We don't want to get into that, because what we want to do is act as a neutral sort of foundation. And the neutral foundation is there's an asset registry, and whenever you want to license artwork from there, you got to pay the license fee, and we get 2% of it. That's it. Our model is very simple on that. We want to let everyone else make money however they want to on here, because rising tide lifts all boats. Let's keep that in mind. Like, that's an open source mantra, so we want to allow these kind of services to thrive. I don't see us doing it. We got to focus on the foundational layer. When will the faucet be fixed? Whenever it's needed at some point in the future. It's completely unrelated and unimportant right now. I'm not going to waste any developer cycles on something that is not important right now. I'm looking to develop utility apps for BC blockchain. Okay. Where can I find the latest BC code and test cases for non-standard block structures? Is the Vitru code in a private repo? If so, why? No, the Vitruveo source code is available to you in our GitHub. So you can go to github.com/Vitruveo and go find the repo. It's right there. Even if you're developing utility apps for BC, you don't need that source code. That is completely unnecessary. You would be using the API and RPC. The BC code has no non-standard block structures. We've added a few header fields, but we have not modified the block structures at all. So no test cases are needed as a result. But yeah, the blockchain source code is available for you. So go take a look at it. And like I said, though, if you're developing a utility app, that is the last place you should be looking. Instead, word of advice, what you would be looking at is higher level sort of frameworks, if you will, like, for example, Ethers.js or Web3.js, or if you want the full stack for developing smart contracts, you would use Hardhat. That's where you want to focus your attention. You don't want to be messing around with Go code as a blockchain, because there's nothing you can do with it. It's baked into and compiled, and the blockchain runs on it. Anyway, yeah, that's the questions I have. I'm going to pull that slide back up because I suspect many of the questions will be about it. But we can dive right into questions.
All right. I have a question. I'm going to skip so that everybody, there's something that came up. I have a question that came prior. I have several questions that came prior, but this one also came up, and I wanted to acknowledge it. Can you see that?
Yeah.
On my screen, it's like acting like it's not come up. I'll probably have to fix that. But Dolores says, can we pick the artwork that goes with the booster? And I have an add-on to that, because this was the question that I received this week. Says, Nick, will we be able to choose which booster NFTs we can get? Will we know who the artist is? And if not, can we get one without anything on it?
Yeah. This is so interesting. First of all, hi, Dolores. Dolores is an active member of the artist community, and I've known her for very long, and great artist, and a great supporter and friend, and appreciate that. So right now we are basically saying the artworks are going to be randomized and apply to each booster. If we had more time, we could probably put in a UI where you could choose the artwork and all that. But unfortunately, time is not on our side, and we are barely able to get the key features that are needed. So we'll have to live with that. And they're all great artworks. So, I think you'll be happy with the artwork you get. And if you're not, then obviously there will be the ability to trade later, right? So that is something you'll be able to do.
Okay. Now we should be going in order now. There's I think a couple of them mixed in, but we should be fine. I just didn't want to I want to take care of two of them at once. Tart Madman says, I think I speak for most of us that we thank Nick for all of his efforts.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Kelly Productions, which Kelly's in the chat speaking about Six Sigma and all that, and right in my project management wheelhouse. So I guess he's out there doing a class on project management, and he's doing research from what you're doing. Kelly says, can't wait to view the new MetaQuest 3 will be available via AVAR or VRAR.
So I'll confess that I've been so focused on Vitruveo that I am out of my element right now on what's happening in the tech world. So I do not. I will claim ignorance on that question. I'm so sorry, but maybe Kelly can give some more insight, and I can add some color to it then.
Next question we have is Nick. When can we withdraw our rebases? I.e., when is the earliest that we can expect centralized exchange? Would I be right in thinking that's the 1st of December? What if boosters sell out in a few days? Can we list sooner?
All right. So remember, our objective with the boosters is to raise capital so that the project has a healthy runway to move forward. So if we are able to accelerate and get good sales, etc., then I don't see any reason why we wouldn't accelerate our ability to get on centralized exchanges. We are in active talks with them, and we will initiate the process. But I'm unwilling to sort of list on the centralized exchange, because the moment we do that, we can no longer raise any more capital. We are done, because the price then gets fixed according to the market, right? And I want to make sure that we have a decent runway to carry us through at least the next 18 months, ideally. And also, we need to provide liquidity, right, for Vitru and for Vitro, both of them. So that's the decision point. And yes, I mean, if we do great and sell things very quickly, I don't see a problem with us moving up the timeline for centralized exchange, which is why I've kept it really vague right now, because I want it to be like, I don't know what's going to happen, right? Like, if the community steps up and we have an amazing sale, etc., I don't see any problem with going to market. We also want to make sure, and I know that for most people, you don't think of it this way, but I like to think of investors out there looking at Vitruveo and saying that, oh, this is a good buy based upon the traction we have. So the more partners we have, the more apps we have finished, etc., the more rock solid we are, the more attractive it is for other investors. And we want to have that up green graph, right? We want that. All of us want that. So that just requires us to do some careful planning, etc. But the short answer is, if we kick ass, then yeah, let's do it.
All right. I have two other questions over here. So last week you planned $250K per month for operations. Could you please break up the amount roughly so that we can understand your idea plan?
Yeah, so this is not that different from the one I proposed initially in the strategic plan. So there is an operating budget in there. So now that we have council leads, etc., they are all going to create their own budgets. We're going to put it together. I just threw that as an estimate. It's actually a high estimate. That budget is going to be approved by the Senate, and then the funds are going to be released by the Senate. So I don't have that today, but as you saw, for example, in Fur's update, she says working on the budget, because I have asked for that budget. There's a template that's been created. All the numbers are being consolidated. And so in one of these downloads coming up, we will have that budget and you will be able to see that. But as of right now, that is my estimate of what the monthly spend is going to be. And the reason, just to be clear, the reason it's a little high is because we are starting out and we have a lot of marketing to do to get the word out. I mean, this marketing costs money, and that's what most of it is about, is marketing.
All right. And then here is another one here. Let me go. So do you see a minimum amount of US dollars that need to be collected with booster sales below, which we cannot launch the final mainnet or Vitru coin? Therefore, it will require more time to collect extra funds?
Yeah, so this hinges on liquidity, right? So we can pick any number we want for the opening price, and then the liquidity can match that. Obviously, everyone wants a higher price than a lower price. So that is the baseline with which we determine, what number we have to go with. I would say that a comfortable number for me that would be a minimum is probably uh, 1.5 million, because with that amount we can make it work. If we don't get that much through the boosters, that's what the super boosters are, and that requires a little bit of time. I have to go to institutional investors, do the pitch, etc., and raise it. I've done that before. It works. I can get it done, but it takes a little bit of time. So we'll be doing it in parallel. It has to happen, because the intent of this booster is frankly to get really operational runway more than anything else, and a little bit of liquidity. I think the major raise is going to come from super boosters. But surprise me. I mean, if I will be pleasantly surprised if the community steps up. But I'll just be candid. I've heard the narrative, and it's true, right? Everyone's been burned. They don't want to put any more money into it. I get that, but the narrative is different now. It's a different day. It's a different story, etc. You might even look at this as a brand new project almost, because it is in fact a brand new project. So if you wear that hat and think about it, maybe you might step up. But I definitely do not want to take someone who's fatigued from spending their money to put it in here. That's why I'm looking at boosters as operational runway more than anything else.
Okay. Next question we have from Razmataz. Will we have our Nexus NFT in our wallets first before we buy boosters? Also, can the Nexus booster be moved as sacrifice wallets may be compromised?
Yeah. So I think that question is answered on the slide right there. The order is exactly backwards from what the question and answer has proposed. So you start off first by normalizing your wallet. So if your wallet's been messed up, sacrificed, compromised, whatever, fix it over in the merge part. I've said merge there, but I'll have to think. I need to talk to Prabhu about what we want to do about compromised wallets and how we want to allow that to happen. But that's the intent of the part, this part here that says Nexus account view and merge. That's the idea here. So that will happen. And no, you will not have your Nexus before the booster. You will have it after on December the 1st.
Oh. Something's not right. Okay. All right. So that is good. And then the next one here is my third question. I didn't see the... Oh, okay. My third question. Nick, you did not speak about booster perks for the incentive booster pools of 1.9 million coins.
Yeah, nothing's changed on the perks. If something hasn't changed, I'm not going to bring it up. But yeah, the booster perks are there. So nothing's changed there.
I think this thing updated or something like that. I think they got them. I'll check. I got to check that other one. The next one here is early bird benefits applicable to Maxim 2. And that's from Bob.
So Bob, the Maxim is an NFT that you get after you boost. So the early bird is applicable to buying a booster. So the two are unrelated. So if you buy 7 or more boosters, and I think I get what you're hinting at is if someone doesn't have a Nexus, if they just hop in, yes. So the answer there is yes. But okay, as phrased, I was a bit confused, but now I get it. So if you are just like a newcomer to the community and you buy 7 boosters, then yeah, you get those early bird benefits.
All right. Next one we got here is from Cali Productions. I'm in school right now to get my Google certification for program management. So watching Nick is like extra research homework. So,
That's funny.
Eris, so November 15th, we can transfer all backers to one wallet. And can we still boost from one wallet to another wallet vesting?
Yeah. So this is a great question. So here, let's go look at this other slide. Where was that? Here we go. This one, right? So here's the thing, folks. You buy boosters, you buy super boosters. They have no connection to any wallet. You can use your booster to boost any Nexus or any account you want. You can do that. The one question that I have in my mind, which we haven't finalized yet, is should you ask for permission or not? Or can I just as a gift basically boost your account, Chris, if I have a free booster sitting around? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, should that be permissioned or not? I don't know. It's like we don't require permission to drop funds into your wallet, right? So a booster is like that. Would love to hear anyone's input on that. What do you guys think? Should boosters be constrained where you have to ask the recipient's permission before you boost their account?
I would think so. What do you guys? I know NRU just joined, but Greek, that's probably right in your wheelhouse as to what you feel.
What was the question again? Sorry.
My question is, when you want to boost someone's account, do you need their permission? So I want to go ahead and use my booster on your account. I'm going to give you acceleration. I'm going to give you tokens. I'm going to give you rev share, all of that. Should I need your permission for that?
I would say no, because you're doing them a favor, but that's just me. But some people, when it comes to crypto, get very anxious. Oh, they're doing something to my account. I would say no.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna get mad about getting access to more money sooner.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to boost my account, go ahead.
Yeah. Have Greek's permission. All right.
All right. Next question. Tartan Madman. Can you ask Nick how we will know if we are within the first 1,000 who buy 7 or more boosters to get the added benefit mentioned?
Yeah, that's a good question.
And he has a follow-up.
Yeah, I think it would be on chain, right? So let me talk to. I will take that as a note, and we'll need to make that kind of visible. So early birds counter.
He's got a follow-up on it. It says the reason I ask about the first 1,000 who buy 7 or more is that I had only planned to buy 5 and now might go for 7 boosters. So.
All right. Yeah, I think we'll put a counter. I had not thought about that because this actually got baked yesterday, this idea fully. Mm-hmm. So a counter would be good. So we'll work on that.
I agree. That would be good.
Aurora Bitcoin says, when website, when at, I would assume that's white paper, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So the launch, the booster website, I saw a preview of it. We wanted to add some more Web3 capabilities to it. So we'll continue working on it through this weekend, probably Tuesday or something. We'll be able to release that. The white paper is on my to-do list. So as soon as that deck I was working on, the investor deck is done, that has a lot of the diagrams that actually go into the white paper. So I'll be working on that this weekend also. So I think you can expect both of them to be about the same time, which is the mid of next week. You should see both of them, or sooner if I can get to them sooner. But my challenge is that both of those require, not the website, but the white paper just requires some thought, and it's hard to find 3 or 4 hours to just concentrate and write it. But I will make that time this weekend and get it done.
Next question that we have, I think it's a follow-up to clarification what Kelly said earlier. Nick asking if virtual art gallery would be optimized to be viewed on a virtual reality or augmented reality headset. One of the most popular one is the Meta Quest 3, formerly known as Oculus.
Yeah, so that gallery that you were seeing was, I believe, on Cyber. You'll have to ask Fur to And you can ask her in the Discord to clarify. I'm pretty sure it was on Cyber. So whatever support that comes with Oculus or other things, it would be that platform, like in this case on Cyber, that has to provide that. We are just using it to build the gallery on there. So please check with Kelly, if you don't mind, in the Discord, and ping her about this, and she can give you an answer. Or you can just Google and see if On Cyber supports Oculus. Oh, there it is. Fur just answered in the chat. It does support. Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you, Fur. I appreciate
it. I hope I didn't. Yeah, this is the next one. Eris, does Vitruveo Hub Marketplace will have the tool to make arts edition and layers from one art to 100 arts, multiple different style of arts, to have it inside artist sales landing page store?
So I'll tell you this: we are not at the point where we are sort of working on the features and architecture of that, because it's a little early. So once we start doing that, we'll start taking some of this feedback and incorporate it in there. But I cannot say yes or no or maybe to this question at the moment, because we haven't thought through that level of detail yet.
All right. Nick, booster sales period will be open until they all sold, or is there a deadline?
Yeah. So this is a tricky question because what we do want is the ability for people to be able to get to them. I'm talking about people who are not in this community already, right? It'll take a little bit of time for the word to get out to them. So tentatively, I would say 30 to 45 days would be the cap on it, max, because beyond that, it's not going to matter. So I would say 30 to 45 days would be the max.
Okay. The next one here is, are we still on pace for 10 projects initially, or is it possible we'll commence mainnet with more?
More. I would say that with Zach on board and the kinds of conversations we are having, I would say more.
Awesome. Hi guys, well done. Quick question. Do we have a date when creators can start their registration, KYC, and onboarding if their art works?
Yeah, this is also, we're getting some really good questions today. So here's the thing. We want artists to have an amazing experience, completely different from what they get in Web3 right now, which is a sucky experience. That means we have to think through and make sure that all the resources, learning resources, all the applications that they need to use, etc., are somewhat done. So what we're going to do is do this in kind of phases. The first phase is we're going to get some friendlies, the people who we know are Web3 savvy already and are willing to give us feedback. Our friends, like Fur and I have a lot of artist friends, right? We're going to bring them on. And Fowler here also has a lot of artist friends, and he himself, right? We're going to go through the process and kind of get feedback, figure out what we need to build. And before we do any mass sort of onboarding of creators, we're going to make sure that there's at least a minimal sort of user experience that allows them to onboard smoothly. So we will not just say, here we go, creators, have fun. Our whole purpose, is to make it easy for creators. So we would be doing a disservice to ourselves if we prematurely open that up.
All right. Oh, I guess it fell off. What's the launch price if we raise 1.5 million?
Well, I can tell you this. No one is going to buy a booster and be happy if the launch price is below 1.5. So that's the floor. How high beyond that? I don't know. I'm sitting here today, but that's a reasonable, logical way to look at things, right? Like, we are selling boosters for $1.50. We can't list and start at lower than that.
Mm-hmm. Next question from Esso. If all 20,000 boosters are sold, can the amount be increased? Why stop at 20,000 if there would be more buyers?
Yeah, it's a good question. We the reason I paused a little bit is because we are putting this into a contract, right? And I like to keep things as decentralized as possible. And the moment you start having all these capabilities where you can go and change something, then it starts building mistrust, because they're like, well, maybe you built that into our rev share, or you built that. Like, we don't want that. Like, the whole point of decentralized, it's baked into the contract and it's done. But in this particular case, it is something that is reasonable to allow to be increased only, not decreased, etc. So I'll take that as a possibility and say, yeah, why don't we think about that a little bit?
Couldn't you always just start another mint?
Oh yeah, you mean on the
You could just start another contract as far as the boosters
Yeah,
are concerned,
that's
if
true.
these sell out. Yeah.
I love that people are excited and think that that's going to happen. That's wonderful. I'm very, very excited to hear that.
Next question is, hi, Nick. Can you elaborate more on how to claim for the revenue sharing? Is it once on a monthly basis?
Yeah. So all claims that we have, whether it's perks or rev share or whatever, are whenever you feel like it model. So whenever you feel like it, you can go whatever has been captured as of that moment. And so if you do it right now, then you want to go again in 2 minutes. Maybe there's a few more. You can get it. So the only thing that's monthly centric is the vesting. Pretty much everything else is on demand.
All right. The next question is, rebasing starting when? 18 months vesting starting when?
Genesis.
So
when the blockchain goes on, block 1, I would say block 0, but let's just say block 1, because most people are not computer programmers and you start with 1, not 0.
Yeah.
So we'll go with block 1.
Yeah, some people think 0 is the last.
Yeah.
Like the countdown. Does early bird work for super boosters?
No, this is a booster perk, because the super boosters are getting a very good deal already. They're getting discounted tokens. They're getting free tokens on the DEX, etc. So we've already created a very decent package there. So this is really strictly for the community, for the boosters, the people who step up first and say, yep, I support this.
Next question is Gleam competition still good to go, Nick?
I've heard the term Gleam, but I don't know how it works or anything like that. If there's any liability that we have of tokens to give people, I can check into that. But this is something to follow up with Zach and in the ecosystem council, and he can answer that.
I don't see any questions right now. I do see someone say, is there anyone here to answer my questions? Joseph Dunlap. I don't even see your question anywhere. I've been scrolling up here, but
yeah, I was doing the same and I couldn't find his question.
So if you do have your question, Joseph, just put it back in there. I'm sorry if you have to retype it. Maybe you can copy and paste it. But we certainly Nick and the team are they'll answer as many questions as they can. What do you guys think with Nick's presentation and the questions we had so far and everything like that?
As always, I think Nick does a fantastic job. And Nick, I do have one question. It's a little bit of a personal question. If you don't mind, you can choose not to answer it if you'd like.
Yeah.
But I was curious, how does your family feel about Vitruveo? Because I know you've been putting a ton of time into this thing. How do they feel? I know they usually support you in all of your endeavors, but what kind of feedback are you getting from your family, if you don't mind?
So you'll be very surprised to know that my family sort of almost is a total firewall with my business. Like, don't get too much into it. And my teens in particular avoid even mentioning to anybody that I do anything crypto related. you know. So
Fair enough. Fair
yeah,
enough.
that's just the truth of it. Of course, I keep my wife posted, etc., on high level, but she doesn't understand the tech part of it. But she certainly understands the business part of it because she's a PR professional by trade. She was. So yeah, just she, the thing is, she knows that when I get into something like this, I am relentless and not gonna give up on it until it either completely succeeds or completely fails. There's no in between here. And right now, as I'm seeing this is headed towards a big success. So I'm gonna keep going at it, and she's pretty excited that I've found my passion. Because previously I was involved completely in a developer ecosystem, right? Nothing to do with art. And now I'm finally here where there's a confluence of art and technology, which is just perfect for me. I will relentlessly pursue this till it's extremely successful.
I certainly appreciate you sharing that, and that I think that's good news for everybody that you're passionate about this, and I think we all knew that. But hearing it from even that your family knows that you're all in on this thing and you're giving it your all, I think that just it brings it full circle.
Okay,
Yeah.
I
And,
think
my daughter is studying art history, so
Oh, that's cool. Very
that's
cool.
right in
know,
your wheelhouse
so,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I think between us we found three questions that were missed, and well, we got three questions. Joseph put his question in. Let's start with this one. Garfield says, "Can you please clarify again when we will be able to transfer between wallets our Vitru coins? Does it start on the 30th or after the 15th of November?"
So that would be on December 1st.
December 1st?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. And then the next one here is Navy Mustang. Nick, why do you persist in not supplying us with the receipts for our monthly bills? If you intend to keep presenting mere numbers on a page, please stop. It is very insulting to us.
I'm sorry it's insulting to you, but I made it very clear that these are mostly salaries. I don't know what receipts I'm going to ask people to give me. It's mostly salaries and some cloud providers and contractors. And I also made it very clear that we are going to essentially draw down the initial capital that we have right now, and after that, we are going to this new model with the DAO. We have a charter, we have a clear accountability, we have approval levels, all of that. And so in the same way that you say it's insulting, I think it's I would call it insulting also that you keep repeating the same question when it's already been asked and answered multiple times. So there we go.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think everybody has a little bit of PTSD from previously, so I think you're getting some of that too, Nick. Unfortunately.
Yeah, with every dollar of this new booster sale, it's going through the multi-sig. It's going through the protocol that we have included in the charter that we voted on and approved. It's very clear there, and there's checks and balances with multiple levels there. So I don't think anyone should have any concern about it. We've got multiple approval levels. We've got monthly budgets, things like that. So it's more transparent and more controlled than it ever has been.
Chad, you said that I missed the sacrifice question. I did not see a sacrifice question. Is that what you're? No, that's not sacrifice. What is that? Oh, okay. Is this the San Francisco Art Council? Is that what SF? Let me pull this up real quick. SFAC? Is that you asked a question about? I didn't see anything about San Francisco or anything like that.
Yeah. The only thing is I've had my initial meeting there, and we'll progress as all business relationships do. You start off with a meeting, you develop a proposal, you move on. So that's it.
All right. Well, Chad, let me know if that's not the right, if I didn't bring that up, but that I didn't see that. Back to Joseph's question, he said, "Can you please elaborate on what's going to happen with the backer nodes and where we fit in all of this?"
Yeah, Joseph, you're a couple of you're a couple of weeks behind on the news, but basically what we've done is we reached an agreement with the backer community, granted some extra tokens, and essentially rolled the backer community into the holders there. So there is no more backer nodes or anything there. It's been resolved, and all the current spreadsheet has all the correct token values.
Okay. Next question. Let's see. A couple of people have asked what's going on with. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So is that what you were? Okay.
Yeah, this is the same for all partners, right? We go through a journey. We start off by having a meeting. We go through and figure out what the relationship's going to be like, etc. Like it's any business relationship. That's how it works.
Oh, did I bring up something or someone bring up something? I saw a question up there. But next one is team salaries 35,367, but for which period exactly?
Well, that would be for the trailing 2 weeks.
The trailing 2 weeks. Okay, I don't see any other ones there. Got a starred one here from Tartan Madman. One last question for Nick. Will the spreadsheet be updated to show the extra incentive if we get within the first 1,000 to buy 7 boosters to see the possible earnings?
Tartan Madman always creating more work for me.
I'm telling you.
Kidding. I'll take a look at it and update it. So that should not be a big change. I could probably do that. But thank you for requesting that. I think other people will want that also.
I see one start, but it is coming up now. Okay. And then this is all I got here. Hey there, amazing work so far. Just a quick question. What you guys think of graffiti art? Is that huge community of artists welcome in Vitruveo? I'm not going to speak for Nick or anything like that, but I love graffiti art, and
I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
I would hope that Vitruveo would be, because there's a whole bunch of people out there that I'm big fans of. But
yeah, I would be very interested, and I think Fur would be to develop a program where we onboard graffiti artists, and not only do we get people to be able to mint their work, but we also do it where when someone sees their work there, what can we put on there? Like, is there a way where we can put a stencil on a QR code where they can AR view it in the live setting, right? That would be amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, the answer is yes. I love graffiti artists. I remember both in the Miami Arts District, amazing graffiti there. In particular, there's one building size, like 3-story building size, one of Prince that I really love. And then also in Barcelona, the street graffiti there is mind blowing. Just love it. So yeah, and Fur also loves graffiti art. So yeah, we are definitely on board.
Yeah. So Fur's pretty excited about it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, you guys got any kind of input or anything like that down there? I know you guys all have like internet issues, and you were dropping in and out and everything. It's been a tough time around. I guess Central Time, where all you
yeah, Comcast said no internet, and now I'm using my phone hotspot for every one of my devices, so it's sucking the internet everywhere.
Fun times.
Must be the satellites.
But I'm just ready for go time.
Saddaloons. And Chris, you already know I'm not allowed to talk for at least half an hour into this thing, so I'm just waiting for you to unmute me.
That's because Chris said because you talk for a half an hour before anyone else can.
I hate to say that, but
too much.
I think that came from Nick. I think Nick was like, "Shut that guy down."
No, don't get me involved in this.
We're just teasing.
I'm sorry.
I do. And this is something you guys may have addressed, but I do have a question. I think we're all aware by now that two nodes were recently stolen or were acquired with ill intent. And I believe they were KYC nodes. So I believe the gentleman that had them taken from him, he ended up connecting or something like that. And the thief stole them out of his wallet. How do we move forward with that? Since he KYC'd those nodes, are they kind of worthless to the thief? Because
No,
I've had like how is that going to work? Will you blacklist them? Is there any way that he can recoup those since he was KYC'd, or what does that look like for him, Nick?
Yeah. So the beauty of having a DAO and starting to have teams that do this is we now have a validator team. So Baron leads that team, and they are autonomous. They're setting their own policies and all that. And if you look at this slide here, what we basically said is resolve everything by November 15th. So I think we also have a new program at Synapse where we can do KYC, so we can KYC again, no problem. There's no cost to the validators for that. So I don't think it's a tragic loss. We can work through it, but I would defer to the validator team for that because again, with the separation of concerns, it becomes easier for us to manage things where we don't have all centralized decision making happening at one place.
Yeah.
But I'm 100% sure that they'll work through a process to resolve anyone who's had issues like that.
Gotcha. Because there also raises the question, because I do know, I think Eris reached out to me. Someone was selling nodes, and we just kind of assumed it might have been that person. So what happens if someone were to acquire one of those in the aftermarket? Did they just lose out at that point? Or so again, I'll have everyone refer to Baron and kind of go from there. So thanks for that, Nick.
I was paying attention to this, and I look over and somebody's in there starring questions again. So we got 5 more questions up here. Nick, if you need help taking some of your project management workload off you, I'm open for an entry level position. How did somebody slid that in to give him an opportunity for a job or something? All right, Kelly, he's a good guy.
I'll talk to Fur. Fur, here's someone who would love to do project management for art packs and things like that. So let's see if that would work out. That would be great.
He's very energetic and nice person. I've talked to him before. Nice guy. Thanks, Nick, for what you're doing for the community. Is 30% of 2% for NFT marketplace, which goes to the booster holders, goes for life of blockchain, or will it stop anytime in the future?
It's perpetual.
All right. Let's see, Nick, would you be asking Mark Zuckerberg's sister to partner with Vitruveo?
Oh. Not her in particular, but she's a co-founder of an organization called Hug, and with Nifty Dreams, my other DAO, we are already partnered with them. So we'll definitely talk to them about coming on board with Vitruveo. We haven't started that conversation yet.
That's good to know. That's good information. I have about half of my booster money in USDC and the other in BUSD due to investments. Is it better to have just one coin? Thank you.
Well, if you're going to try and meet the 7 booster limit, then you'll want to do it in one transaction. That's an important thing. So I would consolidate.
Awesome. Nick would have some Spanish marketing to bring Latino market artists and collectors.
Yeah, Alex is in particular focusing already on South American market. So we've got Spanish covered. I also know a good number of people in the Latino community. We've done programs with them before, so we absolutely will be supporting more of them.
I think this is more for Gus. He says, is there a way of finding out who the validator scammer is? Obviously, they are part of the validator group. Oh, I didn't even think about that. So were they? I guess they were in the group.
Yeah, I don't know much about it, but I'll certainly, I trust Baron and his team. If there's anything that I need to be involved with, they'll certainly let me know. But other than that, I defer to them.
So it looks like Fur's like, hey, let's talk, Kelly.
Yay.
Yeah, so that's great. All right. I think 20,000 boosters will be go fast. Oh, so the Garfield says, I think 20,000 boosters will go fast. I'm just trying to look at the comments, some of them. I don't see any other questions. Did you guys run across any other questions or anything that you wanted to bring up?
No, that's it.
I don't know. Somebody was busy starring the questions, so I appreciate that. Gave me the opportunity to focus on reading them out and everything like that. Fowler, you've been pretty quiet. You got anything to say about the presentation or anything? I know you had something to say. You came off mute before, and then you just went on mute again. So, what's on your mind?
No, I just, I think things are, sound great, man. I can't wait to, see this all come to fruition. There's a lot of creators out there. I interact with them daily on the hour.
Yeah.
And, it's a lot of talent out there looking for, a place where they can genuinely, create and actually have the licensing power. That's what's missing in this whole NFT space is, being able to really say, I own this and I am licensing it out to you to utilize it the way you feel fit. And I can't wait till this is
for these purposes only and not more. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And I can't wait to see that come to fruition. I want to be part of that. And that's why I said I really want to bring guys to gaming in whatever form or fashion I can into the space because it's multifaceted. It can hang toe to toe with art as well. And I want to be part of that. So I can't wait.
Well, I'm gonna rely on you, sir. So it's gonna be fun.
Awesome.
Well, we have come to. I don't see much else that you guys want to talk about, but I do want to say that me personally, and I know we got the other YouTube guys here. We're missing quite a few, but I say for myself is that it has been a pleasure working with you, Nick. I look forward to seeing what Vitruveo does in the future, and cultivating a friendship with you and the team members. And I'm not gone. I'll be around, but at the same time, I wish you nothing but the best. I think it's going to be great. So.
Yeah, and as I said at the top of the hour, I'm very grateful to each and every one of you, Chris, Greek, and our Kryptonian, Fowler, Orai. So, without you, we would not have hit this milestone. So I'm very grateful from the bottom of my heart. And if you're ever in the same city, I hope that we can catch up and have a little more than a chai. So
it would, but I'll tell you one
Sure.
thing. I'll tell you one thing. We're not having pineapple on pizza, though. That's right. I'm drawing the line there. That's not going to happen.
Does anyone have Chris's address? Does anyone have Chris's address so we can put in some orders?
Every one of these guys have my address. We're business partners. So.
Hey, I like pineapple on pizza. I don't know what the problem is.
Kryptonian, the other day you were like, pineapple on pizza is un-American.
Well, I just didn't want to hurt your feelings.
Oh, okay.
So when I went out to dinner with Chris, he actually had pineapple on pizza. So don't let him fool you.
Yeah, I knew.
Yeah, along with that steak and bourbon.
But thank you guys. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah. You guys, anybody got any final words or anything like that before I?
No, I'll throw in my 2 cents. Thanks, Nick, for the opportunity to be a part of this journey. Again, just like Chris, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be in the background. You need me for anything, just reach out to me. I like to think of us as friends as well. We both share a passion for tech. I mean, your entire career has been in development, teaching, and those types of things, and now you're trying to do something with what you've been practicing. You're practicing what you preach, and I appreciate that. So you need anything, just let me know, and I'm going to enjoy this ride. I love what you're doing. I'm still bullish on what's happening. So thank you so much for all your efforts, and we'll see you on the blockchain.
Thank you. See you.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I mean, my sentiments mirror Kryptonians as well. We're here if you need anything, Nick. Obviously, definitely like to keep that door open, and we appreciate everything that you're doing, man. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna wrap it here. If anything comes up or whatever, let me know. Everybody take care and have a great weekend. It's going to be
have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
we are probably going to do an impromptu live tonight, so we'll be around. So everybody take care.
See ya.